Hi, my name is Christine. Welcome to Botanical Woman. Today I will be making a hanging succulent ball that was inspired by this bird feeder that we got from our neighbor. And if you're going to hang up something in your balcony, you might as well decorate it with some plants. So let's go make our ball. I was able to get all my materials locally from the dollar store, grocery store, and hardware store. This is what I'll be using. Cocoa liner, trowel, scissors, glue gun, metal plant hanger, sphagnum moss, peat moss, hacksaw, organic potting mix, succulents, noodle, pot, cactus mix, screwdriver, steak knife, pruning shears, chopstick, twine. What we're going to do next is cut this noodle into smaller pieces so that we can use it as the center of our sphere. Because what we don't want to do is fill the entire sphere with dirt because it's going to get really heavy once we soak it. You can use other foam items like packing peanuts if you have those lying around, or styrofoam that came in, whatever you ordered through the mail. So those would be good fillers as well. Next, we're going to create the planting medium that we're going to put inside the sphere where the succulents will get its nutrients and water. So the base is going to be this cactus mix, which is very coarse, has a lot of bark and perlite in it, which really allows the water to leave the roots very quickly. And so quickly, we're gonna add some moss to help create the water tension. So peat moss and sphagnum moss both do the same, but I'm gonna add a little bit of both just because I think the sphagnum moss will give it a little bit more air to breathe, so less dense of a medium. And then to kind of counter that, we're gonna put in some potting mix because, like I said, this medium dries out so quickly. I really don't wanna water the sphere more than once a week. And because it's gonna be hanging outside, it's gonna be exposed to more elements like the wind and more sun. So really need it to retain its moisture. After filling in the planters, I watered them and allowed them to drain overnight. Now that the medium has settled, I will add more soil to top it off. Now that we've topped off our two planters, we can go ahead and make our ball. What we're going to do is take one and put it on top of the other. To prevent all the soil from falling out, I got a piece of cardboard from the recycling. I'm just gonna put it on top, hold it firmly, pick it up, and flip it over. Here we go, folks. Flip it over. Line up your halves. Line up the halves. All right, I'm gonna slowly try to pull out the cardboard without having everything falling out. Maybe I should have been just be more rough with it because it's not applying enough pressure. Come on. Oh, here we go. We did it. So what I'm doing now is just using twine and tying the two planters together. So kind of using the twine just like thread, double knotting it and cutting it. I'm being so overly cautious by tying many knots all over the place because I don't trust my double knot solution. Feels okay. Maybe we could add one there if we really want to, but... Oh man, it is heavy. Now that we have our succulent ball together... Oh no, it's not a succulent ball. There's no succulents on it. Let's get some on! I chose these hardy succulents for this project because they will survive the Seattle winter. I chose 4 different types of succulents to give texture to our ball. Clumpers, lumpers, hangers, and creepers. Next, we're going to get the succulents to our ball, but before we can do that, we have to remove it obviously out of the nursery pots, but also remove as much dirt as possible, preserving its root system. And then what we should be able to do is pull out each individual rosettes with some roots attached to it. I just put down some newspaper because messing up my table surface, but also for easy cleanup. All right, so one way I like to do this is just give it a squeeze, loosen up the root system or the soil. And usually when you do that, it comes right out. Oh my Lord, look at this. I'm gonna try to rip the babies off, the chicks. It's coming. Look at that. Look at that beautiful chick that I just stabbed to death. Now that we removed all the dirt from the succulents, we can insert them into the ball. The way we're going to do this is I'm going to distribute the color and the size of the succulents around the ball. On top, there will be mainly the clumpers and the lumpers. And at the bottom, we're gonna have the hangers and the creepers. To attach the succulent, what I'm going to do first is poke a hole in the center where I want the succulent to be placed with the screwdriver, and then I'm going to cut a slit across horizontally because then it could be a little pocket for your succulent to sit in. And then depending on the size of the root of your succulent, that can help determine how big the hole should be. So this one here doesn't have much roots. So all I'm going to do is try to get it in gently. Maybe use a tool like a chopstick to help you keep the opening open. And slowly insert it into the sphere. I probably should have trimmed the stem a little bit more so that I can push it into the ball more easily because it was quite long. So now it's not exactly sitting flush on the ball, but it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. But just in case, I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue at the bottom to secure it in place. Stab the ball to death. This project was definitely harder than I thought it would be. I'm happy with the result. I'm not sure how well the plants will adjust to their new environment. In hindsight, I would choose a smaller sphere. The challenge of using something so big is that you need so many succulents to cover the surface. And as you saw, we used quite a few pots of plants, and we still haven't covered all the areas. You can still see the coca liner, and I'm hoping that, you know, with time it will just grow in. Some of the challenges I met while doing this was, one, cutting the coca liner. The coca liner is actually a lot tougher than I thought. My scissors were quite dull. I used scissors, shears, a steak knife to try to cut it open. So make sure you're gonna do this project, have sharp scissors. The official hens and chicks were good picks for this project. Their roots are shallow, they were very easy to separate, so those were great. But these guys that look like balls, the only problem is they are top heavy. So some of them I had to use twine to kind of create an additional support to have them stay back onto the ball. So those were, I would say, not as great. And then these other ones that were purely red, they had very lumpy roots. So the roots were more chunky. And so getting them in to the liner was made it more challenging, because at the bottom was like a big bulge. And cutting them made it challenging. So I probably killed a couple by doing that. The bottom half was much more challenging because I was working with these really delicate stone crops and the hangers and the creepers, and dividing up these little plants to such small strands. It also made me worry their survival rate. I just don't think that they're gonna make it. Thank you for watching. If this video inspired you to make your own succulent ball, please share with us. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, this is Botanical Woman.